Allison. I'm the Programs, Outreach, and Youth Services Manager here at Monterey County Free Libraries. Thank you for joining me today for my first yoga video on our YouTube channel. I know that if you've been watching for a while, you're pretty used to Sarah doing the yoga videos. In the meantime, while Sarah has been doing them, I actually got certified as a yoga instructor, so I'm going to try my hand at doing some now. And to start off for my first video, I thought I would take you through a nice little sequence that I put together for fall. So I'm going to take my glasses off for practice. They usually end up falling off. We're actually going to start off our practice in child's pose. So you can choose whether you'd like to take your child's pose with your knees together, or if you'd like a wide child's pose, placing your knees about the width of the mat, and then sinking back and down, thinking about lowering our glutes and our hips down towards our heels, stretching our arms out long in front of us, placing our heads down on the mat, forehead to the mat, stretching out through the arms here. And stay in that position. I'm going to sit up so that you can hear me a little bit better as I cue you through some breath work to settle into our practice. So with your arms long in front of you, forehead down to the mat, just starting to sink in here, getting ready for our practice, about 10 minutes during this video. Go ahead and think about our breath, directing it towards that third eye area on our forehead. Inhaling in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Trying to focus on getting that exhale a little longer than our inhale, and thinking with our exhales of just melting into that mat, stretching out, allowing everything to sink down, feeling gravity doing its work on us as we sink down into this child's pose. Coming into fall and the winter months, we're going at a slightly slower speed and kind of melting into that feeling of the weather changing, all the changes in the season around us and our environment, finding some comfort in that there. Then pushing back up into our tabletop position, we're going to stretch out our legs long behind us, coming up onto our right forearm and bending the left leg in, reaching back with that left hand, grabbing onto that foot, keeping the gaze facing forward, holding in here for a nice quad stretch. And if this isn't accessible to you here to reach back and grab the foot, you can utilize a belt, a towel, a strap if you have one, to help lengthen the arm and bring the foot in that way. For an extra extension and compression through the low back, you can press up into the palm of the right hand. Be mindful of scrunching the shoulder up towards the ear, trying to keep that down. You'll feel that compression in the low back there. Could be a lot of sensation. Thinking about pressing the foot into the hand here on the left side. And then go ahead and releasing everything down. Folding the hands in front of you, placing the forehead on top of the stacked hands. Grounding down here before taking that on the other side. So starting off, left forearm comes to ground down on our mats, pulling our right foot towards that right glute, reaching back with the right hand. Thinking about pressing that right foot into the right hand, coming into that quad stretch here. Pressing up into that left hand. And then releasing all of that, letting it go, coming back to rest here in crocodile pose. Whew. Pushing back into our tabletop position here. We're going to go into a downward dog. So tucking the toes, we're going to inhale and press up and back through the hips, extending the legs long, thinking about keeping that spine long. Crown of the head is heavy. Those heels are dropping back down towards our mat here. It's okay if they don't reach all the way. You can pedal out the legs here. Probably feeling tight in the hamstrings for our first downward dog of the practice. Maybe do a little bouncing. And then I like to bring that all back down, back into tabletop. Push back into a closed child's pose. Knees are together, arms out wide. Rolling back up into table. We're going to go into downward dog once more, tucking those toes, pressing into the palms of the hands, pushing up and back. Pausing here for a second. Then we're going to go into our three-legged dog. So we'll inhale that right leg up and back behind us. You can go ahead and bend here, opening up through that hip, sinking down into that left foot. Perhaps doing some slow circles here. Changing the direction. Straightening that out. Then go ahead and inhale that through the hands. Coming into a lunge here. Keeping the right knee above the right ankle. Still thinking about sinking down through that left heel so you can feel that sensation in the hamstring. Then we're going to crawl this over into pigeon, creeping the right foot towards the left side of the mat. Coming down here, we're striving to get our right shin so that it's parallel to the short edge, top edge of our mat. Left leg is out long behind us. I like to start pigeon up on fists, gaze up, chest out. You can place a block or some other prop under this right glute here to provide some extra support. And then folding down here, if you need to raise the ground up to you, you can utilize a pillow or another prop that you have at home. Coming to rest here on the forearms or any pillow, bolster, block, prop that you might be using. Pressing our way back up. Just going to fall into that space on the right side. Go ahead and wrap that left leg around. So we're kind of in this little crisscross position. We're going to take the right hand, wrapping it around that left knee, giving it a hug, coming into a twist, taking that left arm. It wraps behind us, sitting on the ground as a kickstand. The gaze is following over the shoulder. Thinking about on the inhales, lengthening up through the spine. Exhale, deepening into that twist. Releasing all of that. Coming back into tabletop, we're going to take all of that on the other side. So we'll start here in tabletop, making sure that we're nice and grounded through the palm of the hand, through the full handprint, tucking those toes, Pushing up and back for our downward facing dog. Inhale, extending that left leg long behind us, bending it, opening up through that hip, feeling that right heel sinking closer to the mat perhaps. Doing some nice circles here. Changing the direction. Coming back to center, hips are squared towards the front of the mat. Inhaling that foot through, coming into our lunge. Once again, thinking about that knee being over the ankle here, feeling the stretch through that right leg as we're thinking about the sensation of that right heel lowering towards the mat, feeling into the hamstring there. And then crawling that left foot towards the right side of the mat, lowering down into pigeon. Starting off here on fists. Once again, feel free to put anything into this space here to add some extra support. Lowering down onto forearms, a block or a bolster. Rising back up, be mindful in our transitions, and then dropping down into that empty space, coming around, switching sides for that twist. So placing our left leg over, taking our left arm, hugging in here, right arm goes behind us like a kickstand, gaze follows. Inhale, we lengthen, exhale, we twist. Releasing out of that twist and just meeting me here in Sukhasana, easy pose, crisscross applesauce. Placing the palms on the knees and closing the eyes here. Just doing a little body scan, seeing how we feel. Like I said, parts of this practice were designed to help us slow down a little bit. Pigeon, child's pose, coming down, sinking into the earth as we go into the changing of the seasons. And then some of it, our downward dog, our three-legged dog, meant to build a little bit of, a tiny bit of heat, keeping our fire alive as we move into these colder months. And if you would like to close out your practice with a Shavasana of your choice, laying down on the mat, perhaps in reclined butterfly, or finding a wall in your house to do legs up the wall, please feel free. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everyone.